Like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Analysis. The Fed's credibility can have a soft landing. It's not easy for me to say that. I grew up targeting inflation. It was my monetary policy religion. Most economists my year were dutifully taught that after generations of ineffective or harmful monetary policy tools, we had finally figured it out. Credible communication belonged one of the Fed's most powerful tools, and if the Fed did commit to an inflation target, it would be self-fulfilling as markets would price in the target, and collective agreements would set accordingly, and that would give policymakers discipline to keep inflation stable and keep it predictable. After all those years of mistakes, we thought we had cracked the code. It sounded good in theory, but the track record of inflation targeting isn't great. And now, despite the central bank's best efforts, inflation isn't showing up anytime soon. 2% decline, which was the final death knell for the reliability of the target with the markets, could be true. Monetary policy works with long lags, but the Fed has been taking inflation control seriously for more than a year, and so far has only predicted that it will fall much faster than it actually does. The Fed's current forecast of 2.8% this year, 2.5% next year, and 2% thereafter looks wildly optimistic, unless it plans several more big rate hikes, or there's a recession, which seems to agree with their forecast that unemployment will peak at just 4.6% for the next 2 years, and growth will remain positive. Perhaps the Fed is still making sunny forecasts because it sees the bond market anticipating low inflation for the next few years. You should be aware that the bond market has historically not been a good indicator of inflation, nor is it pricing in the significant rate hikes it would take to get to 2%. The 2-year bond yield is still below 5%, and the 1-year is just above 5%, and the Fed's benchmark rate will likely need to rise to at least 6% to break inflation. For what it's worth, consumers are more skeptical that inflation will rebound to 2%. The most likely scenario is number 2, which is basically the more realistic version of a soft landing made possible by a resilient labor market. But a soft landing could be just what wipes out the inflation target. Lowering inflation and bringing inflation to 2% are two different things, and that's where the Fed is in a bind. The economy can be in a healthy state with 3% or 4% inflation. Some economists claim these rates would have been a better target to start with, but it's not the goal we have. A decade ago, 2% seemed like an achievable target and allowed the economy to grow, while still offering some level of security. But now it may not be the case. Bringing inflation down even further might require the Fed to crack down, raising rates well above 5%, and hurting the job market and an otherwise healthy economy, just to maintain its commitment to 2% inflation, which it sets was different place when the economy was in very bad shape. Based on current interest rates, markets don't seem to think the Fed will hike interest rates well above 5%. So the markets appear to be ruling out scenario number 4. And for a good reason. It's the least likely. Hard talk from the Fed is cheap when unemployment is 3.4%.